is happening?
I don't know. He's talking and we don't hear him. And you know what that means? Once he's disengaged more than usual, it's all downhill. He will be spent before Friday comes. When we do the sports break.
Or he'll be charged up because he hasn't.
Oh, you think so? He'll be pent up, is what you're saying. Okay.
We almost missed out on that story of him in the ditch. You know what I mean? Like, he's got some things to say.
Yeah. And Mary's in Nashville by the seat of her pants. Mm-hmm. And
I feel bad. I didn't have any problems over the weekend. I didn't do anything over the weekend.
Nothing went wrong over your weekend?
I mean, all I did was edit Bam Bam. So, like, I just...
Just Bam Bam.
That's the thing. I'm trying to get you guys
it's
to
our
watch.
birthday present, Mary.
I'm kidding.
On Wednesday for him.
I know.
So
He's got a special coming out.
I edited video Friday night, watched it back on Saturday, didn't like the edit that I did, and then re-edited it on Saturday. And
the whole thing?
The whole thing.
Wow.
And then showed it to somebody. I showed it to you. I like the product that I have now, but there was I probably edited it 3 times before I was happy with the final product.
What about
that's
it?
all I did all.
What about it did you not like when you...
I tried moving some bits around. Some of the colors were off, so just little things like that. Nothing that's interesting. Just nitpicky stuff.
You had a spill on your shirt.
I do have a spill on my shirt right at the beginning.
You do, really?
Yeah, Mom Spaghetti.
He called me last night on FaceTime, and I was like, is your shirt wet? And was that a shadow? What did you do?
Yeah, it's probably a water, just a little splash of water. It goes away. Whatever. You still hear the jokes.
That's called evaporation. If you give it long enough, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Well, we can't do Poundcake's Rock Trivia if we don't.
I thought we were getting rid of it anyway.
Huh?
I thought
you said to end it on your birthday.
Well, I thought we were going to do one on my birthday and then that be
Oh,
it.
just on your birthday.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, we're over it?
Yeah, because
Trivia sucks.
Well, the thing is,
All about Neil Young.
is that you guys are all left to guess. You guys are all too young for this calendar.
Yeah.
And even I don't I whiff half of them. So, yeah, it's no fun if you guys are just throwing darts and if you don't even have a vague perspective on it. Yeah, they're all really old, weird questions. You know?
Yeah.
Very strange.
It's not stuff that I feel like you'll ever repeat.
Right.
Like sometimes there's trivia and you're like, oh, that's a fun piece of trivia. I can share this with somebody at some point. But this stuff is all so weird that you're like, as soon as you hear it, you go, I don't care about this. You're not going to like store it in your memory bank.
Yeah. Kevin Hart is coming to Cleveland, they announced this morning, for people who enjoy Kevin Hart. He's doing an arena tour, and he'll get to the Romo Fijo on July 10th. Those tickets will go on sale this Friday morning at 10 o'clock. The Reality Check Tour. Have you ever seen Kevin Hart?
Yeah. I saw him at Chappelle's thing a couple of years ago.
Oh,
when he
yeah?
was doing the Outside show. It was Dave's birthday show, and it was Kevin Hart and Bill Burr and Michelle Wolf. There's a lot of people. It was a great night.
That was Kevin Hart when he was kind of deep into his confessional period?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the special that he put out on Netflix, I think, early in 2021. It was all that material. It was good. I really enjoyed it.
I haven't seen that. I've only seen him 100 years ago in a club. And I don't know that he was the Kevin Hart that he is now. He was still kind of trying to get things going.
I really like Kevin Hart. I've always really liked Kevin Hart. He did that one
He
special.
works hard, boy. I'll give him that.
Up until that one special when he kept saying, hit these bitches with some fire. And that was essentially his punchline when jokes, like he had pyro on stage. I didn't particularly like that one. But like, I'm a grown little man and Laugh at My Pain were 2 very early specials from him that I thought were fantastic.
No pyro?
No pyro.
Well,
Jokes.
the one with the pyro, that was the one that he did in a stadium. I think he did it where the Eagles play.
Yeah.
And so he's doing it in front of 60,000 people. So to keep them engaged, he needed something a little extra beyond just a silly joke.
Even just the jokes I felt like they weren't as good.
Well,
Maybe some of it was lost.
He was doing that in between filming 8 movies and he was, he didn't
So
have
then
the
why
time.
do it? Then why not wait?
Because money.
Because money. Why not?
Money.
Makes the world go round, Mary. Why not? By the way, thank you to everybody. There was a lot of context to be filled in on that Dave Chappelle thing. And I'm glad that it was for people who paid attention to that, because the initial reaction was Dave Chappelle votes down affordable housing in Yellow Springs, and that's not what was going on there. So.
And that's what I figured when people were playing the clip. Like it seemed like we don't know anything about what's going on here, and he just walks out there and says, "Hey, if you do this, I'm pulling my money." And I'm like, that doesn't seem like the kind of move that he would make. Yeah.
Right. Well, essentially what happened was, I guess, the long story was that the reason that he had threatened to pull all of his money on developing what he wanted to develop is because I guess there's some, Yellow Springs is a small town, and the people who live there kind of want to keep it that way. And I guess they have some out-of-town developer that wants to come in and build all this stuff and charge exorbitant amounts of money for homes and things like that. And the main issue for Dave Chappelle and other people who live there is that everything would get too big, and you'd have these out-of-state people changing this town that they love. And I guess they threw them a bone by saying, well, we'll build some affordable housing. But Dave Chappelle and the other people in that town just didn't like the entire plan. And so their thought is that the developers were using this opposition to the entire big plan to make it look like Dave Chappelle's a rich, famous guy who doesn't want affordable housing in his town. But that's not, as with anything else, there's always more information. But he and other people in that town are like, we just don't want this giant development plan with somebody that has no ties to Yellow Springs whatsoever.
I mean, Poundcake is...
And if you're going to throw us crumbs, that's not good for anyone.
Poundcake, if you're going to come in here, you got to bring the heat. You can't just come in here and say something that's not going to be incredible. Do you think you'll live up to it?
Is he coming in here?
He's coming in here.
Pressure on him like we say anything incredible. Let him sit in the room. What's one incredible thing you've said today?
I say incredible things per hour. Yeah. What are you talking about?
I didn't say you, Alan.
I just don't.
Well, I hold Poundcake to the same standard as I hold myself. And go.
I just don't understand why there is a big fuss about it. Dave Chappelle could live anywhere. There's plenty of nowhere towns in the middle of Ohio. And I don't know how he settled on Yellow Springs. I don't know if that was just a place for him to get away. I don't think he has any loyalty to Yellow Springs.
I thought he lived there when he was younger because his parents, for a while, taught at the university.
I thought he was from D.C.
He's but when he was younger, I thought he lived in Yellow Springs.
Yeah, he's got ties to Yellow Springs when he was younger. In the documentary that he showed at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, they show him as a child in Yellow Springs because his parents were teachers at the university there.
Oh.
So it is a community, and it's not like other small towns in Ohio because it is kind of this almost like liberal commune, which is not how all small towns in Ohio are.
It reminds me of Oberlin, if what you say is true, because a lot of
I think that's kind of what it is. Yeah. That's a good analog.
Because Oberlin,
Antioch College, I think, is in Yellow Springs.
They will fight you tooth and nail because I remember when I was younger, it was a huge thing to have McDonald's come to Oberlin, and then somehow, some way, I don't know what the deal was.
A huge good thing or a huge bad thing?
The town did not want McDonald's there because it was a huge corporation. It was going to run out, family-owned
mom
businesses.
and pop hamburger joints.
And I don't remember what deal was made, but somehow they settled on something, and McDonald's got to come there. Same thing with Walmart. Walmart is still, I believe Walmart is still giving away free school supplies because that was
part of the deal they made, yeah.
Yes, and I think the reason why Walmart got to come into Oberlin was because it's on the outskirts of the city. Like, it's not within the city limits. But again, Oberlin is only 3 miles in diameter, or 3 miles in every direction, so you can be out of the city that quick. But all of the mom and pop stores there, I don't know if they're suffering or not, but it's still not the same small town that I grew up in.
Are there ever just mom stores and pop stores, or are they all mom and pops? Are there ever single moms or single pops who own small stores?
I mean, that's the
entrepreneurs
America that we're moving towards, but
because people aren't getting married anymore.
That's they're getting divorced.
They're getting divorced.
Yeah, lost.
Mom and or pop.
But yeah, that was it. So,
and by the way, hot take: a lot of mom and pop stores suck. There's a reason that some of them go out of business because they stink.
Yes, but the big corporations run those stores out of business.
I understand, but
That's all they have.
But they also don't do it in a vacuum. It's not like most of these communities go, nope, we will still keep going to the mom and pop stores. They say that for about a week, and then everybody goes to Walmart.
But they don't want the town to run off of one economy that is a corporate, because then they can drive prices up and everyone has to work there, and that's exactly what happened.
They don't want everybody working there. They don't want it to be a factory town, essentially.
Because there's no competition if a big corporation comes into a small town.
Well, that's why mom.
Now he gets to do his walk off. He's like, I said what I have to say. I'm out.
That's why mom and pop Walmart have to fight tooth and nail. The hell's going on with his microphone? I can't have him coming in here every time he wants to say something. It's just going to jam up my rhythm.
It's very strange.
I can't do that.
But it also makes no sense why it's not working.
I don't know. You didn't put. Is there any button that's not pushed that you pushed? All right.
Mm-hmm.
Cody, flat in Nashville. I've got a good deal with budget. I can get you home.
Do they give you credits?
Yeah, we're best friends now.
Wait, what? Flat what?
I was saying that if his mic doesn't work there, he can come here. It's a dumb joke.
Oh, fly to Nashville.
Yeah. It's fine.
It's okay. Listen, you're a professional comedian. I don't. I don't get everything that you say because I don't know.
So it
Sold
goes
out.
a little deep.
Sold out show tonight at Zany's in Nashville.
Zanies.
Yeah,
There
our
you
friend
go.
Steve Burns going to be on the show.
Hey, he lives there now.
He bumped me. I was supposed to close it out, and I just got a message like, "Hey, Steve Burns coming," so I have to let him close it out. So,
Well,
that's cool.
yeah, because he just walks down the street now.
Yeah, but it's gonna be fun. I'm really excited.
Well, just bury him.
Okay,
You do your best stuff. He's probably working on stuff, so that shouldn't be hard to do.
that's fair.
Just looking to get out of the house.
Right.
Yeah. For people who are just tuning into the show now, I mentioned at the top of the show that I had gone to that funeral on Saturday, trying to determine if, in fact, that was Rick who calls our show, or had called our show pretty frequently. It was not Rick. I don't know who it was. Well, we do know who it was. We just don't know the person. We know their name, and I went to ask some people some questions, a little Q&A with some of the mourners, and ascertained, based on their responses, that it was not our Rick. So it leaves us with just as many questions and just as little information as it did before. But I did sign the book.
Why?
Because I was there and I was paying my respects.
But oh my goodness.
What? I
You
paid
don't
my
know him.
I paid my respects.
But he was still respectful.
It's still a dead person that people are mourning. Who cares if I knew him?
Because they're gonna send you a thank you card.
I didn't put my address.
Why'd you sign the book?
Because I was there. The woman said to me, she goes, "It's actually very sweet that you're here, even though you don't know this person. You're here because you thought you did." I go, "Yeah, I know. Would you tell all the dopes I work with that?"
Are you gonna go to every funeral of a black guy named Rick now?
No, this guy wasn't named Rick. He was named Richard.
But I'm saying,
No,
what
listen.
precedent have we set?
I'm above board with all this. You're absolutely correct. We threw a dart. It wasn't him. No, I'm not going to go to everyone's funeral. Whatever happens is going to happen from here on out. But if we had any indication that this guy, I don't know, we threw a dart, right? In the initial blush of not knowing what was going on, and maybe thinking, I don't know. But I was able to unequivocally determine that that guy was not Rick.
I guess my whole point, and what it was from the beginning too, was like, people don't know people. Like, even if it is your husband, like, people take things with them to their graves. That's how you find out about fake families and stuff like that. So, like, going to the funeral to me was just like, we weren't going to get anywhere anyway. So
yeah, we were. Because
No.
yes, I said, did he call himself Rick?
But okay, my point
That's
is
you're not hiding that from anyone. I said, did your dad drink? Because I talked to the son. Did your dad drink Milwaukee's Best? He goes, my dad was sober. That's valuable information. That's something I can check off a list.
Right. But that guy knew of. What I'm saying is that people have double lives all the time. So going and asking questions, nobody's really going to know the answer.
Well, I wasn't asking, hey, did he have girlfriends on the side? If my leadoff questions are, did he go by Rick? And was he ever a boxer? Those are questions that you're not going to hide as part of your double life. They're going to be front and center. He's not going to be like, my second family calls me Rick.
They might.
Everyone else.
He had an apartment by himself.
He called a public radio show as Rick.
We don't even know if Rick was his real name.
Okay, yeah, you're right. You think
Rick.
that guy who calls us all the time was calling under a pseudonym?
He might have been.
No.
What would stop him from doing that? People do
Why
that
would
all
he?
the time.
But why would he?
Why does anybody do it? They don't want their real name out there. If he's talking about his apartment and he's talking about sleeping with girls and drinking and he's married, of course he's going to call under a fake name.
Okay. Listen, if you're going to go down that rabbit hole, then yeah, I have to concede to you that you're correct. Rick, who's been calling us for years, could be lying about everything he ever said. You're right.
Not lying about everything he ever said, just maybe using a fake name. That is not inconceivable.
But why would you call a show with, let's be honest, a very recognizable voice? He has a very distinct voice. And then, so anyone who heard you would go, that's my dad, Richard. Or that's my dad, Tim, lying and saying he's a guy named Rick. Calling all the time about how the Cavaliers are doing. That's not somebody who's trying to keep a secret life under wraps. Like Dick from Dayton. His name's Dick. His name's not Frank. He's not lying. He's calling because he's looking for people to talk to.
It's a moot point now because you already went to the funeral. But I guess I still don't see a point in why you went.
Because
to try and get some information.
On the slim chance that the answers to my questions were yes, then we would have known.
I guess.
Well, yeah. It's either yes or no.
But I guess my whole point was that I don't know how much of that information is shared with someone's family. Like, would they know, yeah, he was a regular caller. But if that's just something he does when everyone's at work, he might not ever mention it.
But that's not the question you asked.
Yeah, I mean...
You asked about the boxing thing, which I feel like if my dad was a boxer, I would know he was a boxer.
Of course.
I don't know, man. Okay, I don't know. It doesn't matter at this point.
You find me somebody who was a boxer and shuts up about it.
Right.
Ever. They will tell you until they're 100 how they used to. It was Golden Gloves.
Right, and that's the thing is it's not like he just like went to the boxing class like Poundcake did. Like he was a competitive boxer, and he's told us that.
And also, the bottom line is, if you have something to hide, you wouldn't call a radio show all the time. If you were trying to hide...
Maybe he wants to get caught. That's how serial killers get caught. They start tiptoeing around and seeing what they can get away with.
You're making some huge leaps in logic here, by the way.
I don't know that I am.
I did see,
you are.
There was that Amazon, the review killer, where he would leave clues in Amazon reviews of people he killed.
See? He wants to get caught.
I don't recall ever once asking him a question and he demurred on the answer, where he was like, whoop, or hung up, or like, you know, I don't want my hose finding out about this. It's like, he was always very, I mean, you're right. You can't know everything. But
also, he was at times hard to understand. So he could have been telling us all sorts of stuff. And we didn't know.
He might have confessed to a whole bunch of things that we didn't.
I just called in just rather some, just getting in there.
That he
Where
just
are the
bodies? He just said, my name is Rick, and I'm not lying about anything. That's what he said. You can believe me. I'm trustworthy and forthcoming.
I just called in just rather some, just getting in there.
Yeah, that's right. Did you see that the Hudson mayor stepped down?
Yes.
Which, by the way, I read was a largely ceremonial position. Like, you don't really have any, say in anything. I think that's city council, and it's like a part-time job and whatever. But for those of you who are really, really concerned, you Hudson residents, I'm sure en masse, they were like, look, you're not an important figure in this, and you've made us all look stupid. So, of course, he put out this hugely self-aggrandizing statement about my role as a change agent is complete and all this blah, blah, blah. My attempt to inject a bit of dry humor was grossly misunderstood. Dry humor.
You were not making a joke.
He was stone cold serious when he said that. It's insulting to funny people. When people always fall back on, I was just making a joke. Like Marjorie Taylor Greene, the gazpacho police. Mm-hmm. I misspoke. No, you didn't. You don't know the difference between gazpacho and Gestapo because you're a dummy. You didn't misspeak. And this Hudson guy thought ice shanties were going to lead to prostitution.
Because he tried to explain it at first anyway. He's like, oh, back when I was a reporter, I would cover situations where there was prostitution happening in ice shanties.
Yeah.
So that's what I was referring to.
Dry humor. So anyway, who knows? Maybe now, Hudson, you'll get a pro-ice shanty prostitution mayor. That's the best you can hope for. So mazel tov. I got a break. I'm going to have WWE tickets for you. Monday Night Raw is back at the Romo Fijo March the 7th, just a couple of weeks away. So if you want to get to that, I will hook you up there. 4:30 is going to be the next chance for you to go fund yourself. So listen for that keyword to grab $1,000. 35192 if you want to text for anything in the break, and we'll be back.